Hello, this is Ray Kierna with Copter Concepts. Here we are with the new model I've been working on. This is the Lockheed CL-475. Covering's not complete yet. I got a rubber motor in there. We're going to be testing the flex drive today. So the power that I have in this model is 1/8 inch rubber. I've got 4 strands. I have 450 winds in this. The belt is hooked up to the tail rotor, so if you look at the model, you'll see, so I got the belt hooked up to the tail rotor. Motor is wound. There is the flex drive. She's a nice looking machine so far. Landing gear's not on or anything like that. And this is simply just to test if this spring flex drive is going to hold up to the torque. Now I used marine epoxy as the attachment for the spring to the aluminum tubing couplers. It's rated at over 2,500 pounds per square inch, and I know I'm not putting that much torque in this thing. So if we are successful on this particular test, the tail rotor should move no problem. Everything should be smooth, and that spring is not going to fracture or break under the torque. So I'm getting ready to release it, so we are going to see what's going to happen here, so hang on to your hats. Okay, so focus on the model. And this is the nervous part, but here we go. Okay, it held. And that was a successful test. It actually held, to my surprise. I mean, I don't have main rotors on it, so of course the power ran out quite quickly on this. But the whole test is to be able to put a load on this without the spring, because previous problems with flex drives that I've had before is that when I released the load under tension, if it was very, very low power, it worked fine. But as soon as I had enough power to actually fly the model, the spring would actually torque and twist in half and break. So I did a new design on the interior mechanics of this flex spring, which I think is going to allow it to hold up to torque. The next test I'm going to do is going to be under higher power, probably 4 strands of 3/32. So that should give it that little bit more of an edge of power, and I'll do another test later on that. But at the moment, right now, I'm quite pleased that that held up. Plenty of torque compensation on the tail rotor. The belt length is only 7 inches. From what I saw, and I'm sure I'm going to see it in the video when I review it, that the tail rotor had way plenty of anti-torque movement on it. So when this is ready to actually fly, I don't think I'm going to have any problem getting this to fly successfully as far as I see right now. I mean, hopefully it's going to work out. But from what I see right now, I've got plenty of torque compensation. The smaller the model, this is a smaller model. My problem was bigger models like my Hughes 500 project and my Bell Huey, they were over 2 feet long, weighed over 65 grams. A lot of torque, a lot of power to get them off the ground, but since I was using so much power and so much torque, it was virtually uncontrollable. But I did notice if I used very little power, they kind of floated off the ground just a little bit, and they were much more stable. So my idea is going back to my original concept. Back in the early 80s, I designed helicopters, and they were only 17 inches long. And I was able to get them to fly. My Bell 206 Jet Ranger was built by Chris Starleaf, and he was able to get an ROG flight of over 30 seconds, and the model was only about 17 inches long and weighed 36 grams. This particular model will complete, everything weighed out component-wise comes out to about 37 grams. I wanted to stay around 35. If this works successfully and I go into a production model, so a few changes are going to be made that I wanted to see. The model will come out around 28 to 32 grams, which is where we want to be for this size model, which means the lighter the model, the less power it's going to take to get in the air. That means the less power we're using, that means the less torque, and we should see some stable rise off ground flights in the very near future. I figure I got about another week to finish this thing off, so I'm going to finish what I'm doing, and I should be ready for initial test flights within a week, maybe 2 weeks. So stay tuned to Copter Concepts. If you like what you see, Please subscribe to my channel. Hit some likes out there for me. Stick with me. We're going to get these babies to fly yet. See you again. Thanks for watching.